A question that I get asked a lot is, which do you think is the best streaming platform these days? YouTube or Vimeo? Let's break it down. I have been using the YouTube platform both personally and also for my work since 2007. In 2018, I also started using Vimeo for work, and a few months later signed up for a personal account as well. So I have about 5 years experience with that platform and a long history with YouTube. So I think that I am qualified to offer some informed answers to this question. If you would like the quick answer, I would cautiously say that both are very good. And what used to be very large differences between them are slowly merging. But there are still some pros and cons for each platform. And so let's talk about those today. I think the first thing that I would like to say is that it depends. You always like to hear that, right? It depends. But it's kind of true. It really does depend on what you're trying to do with your media. Are you interested in taking your videos viral? Do you want people to be able to easily like and share your video? How serious are you about how the public sees your media and what might be associated with your media? What is your budget? Do you want to use the platform to feed your websites or other streaming platforms? Let's take a closer look, and maybe what we'll do is set up one of those point systems and see who gets the most points. First of all, let's talk about cost. Vimeo does have a free entry-level program for those who want to get their feet wet, but if you want to start uploading longer videos or more than 2 videos a month, you are going to need to upgrade to a paid plan. I'll put a link to the pricing formula in the description below for Vimeo. They start from 14 Canadian dollars a month and go up from there, depending on the features that you are interested in and the amount of videos you want to upload each year. YouTube, on the other hand, is free, with no limitations as to how many videos you upload or how long they are. Point goes to YouTube. What about quality? You know, it used to be that film students would say that if you want to show your projects in the best quality, you need to run them on Vimeo. And I believe that there was a day when that was true. I don't believe anyone is saying that anymore. YouTube has really upped their game on quality. To my eye, there's no discernible difference in the quality between YouTube and Vimeo. I'm going to give a point to each on quality. Worldwide distribution. I'm a producer of content that is consumed all over the globe. And I used to worry that the videos that I uploaded to Vimeo may not be distributed to as many regional servers in different parts of the world as YouTube. And as a result, our students in Southeast Asia and different countries in Africa may have issues playing their videos back from a server that may be thousands of kilometers away. All of that has changed as Vimeo has switched to using Google's Fastly Cloud accelerator. Does that mean that YouTube and Vimeo are now essentially on the same distribution system? I don't know. It's not commonly known for sure. This is not something that they advertise widely. There's still some mystery under the hood here. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I think that the two are pretty close now on worldwide distribution. We have students all over the world running videos streaming from our Vimeo platform, and we're not getting any complaints about videos stuttering or stopping. Once again, I'm going to give points to both Vimeo and YouTube on this. What about viewership? Now, numbers vary on this, but some say that YouTube has well over 2 billion viewers every month, with over 1 billion, with a B, hours of content viewed every day. The public popularity, awareness, active viewership of Vimeo is far less. Vimeo reports 170 million, with an M, active users. If you want access to an unimaginable potential user base, YouTube is your obvious choice. People just know YouTube. They know how to access YouTube. They may already have an account with YouTube, and which makes them more likely to like, share, and comment on your video. They know how to access videos about their favorite products or interests on YouTube. YouTube has a great search engine. In fact, it is said, and I believe it's probably true, that the YouTube search engine is number 2 in the world, just below Google itself. And I suppose that makes sense because Google owns YouTube these days, right? So you would expect it to have a really great search engine. So if you're looking for videos, I know for myself, whenever I'm thinking about buying something, well, I'll just jump on to the YouTube website, go to their search engine, search on that product, and right away I get 6 to 10 videos that make good reviews of that product, and it helps inform my decision to purchase. Let me ask you, have you ever tried to find product reviews on the Vimeo platform? If you go to Vimeo.com and if you can find their search bar, you're not going to be presented with much in the way of product reviews. What you're usually going to end up seeing is an offer to have a free trial to become a content creator at YouTube or sign up for one of their streaming platforms. So I have to say, for viewership, visibility, and accessibility, big point goes to YouTube. Income potential. If you are looking to make money with your content, which is the better platform for you? Well, I think that I would have to say that this point goes to YouTube, especially if you are just new to content creation and you're just finding your niche, just still kind of learning your media skills, learning how to create a video, learning how to upload, learning how to manage a back-end website. It is actually possible to make money using Vimeo. You can set your videos to be pay-per-view. You can set up an OTT channel. We'll talk more about that. Or if you want to have a little more control over the look of your website, instead of using a Vimeo template for your OTT, you can set up your own subscription-based website with WordPress and a few plugins, and then have Vimeo as your cost-effective worldwide distributor of your content. I have done that with our English language training content that we have. So it is possible, but YouTube is probably going to offer you an easier, quicker way to start generating income for your content. At least a lot easier than Vimeo. YouTube has a much larger potential audience, remember. It has no upfront costs and no technical setup for monetization. Once you have 1,000 followers and 4,000 viewing hours, you can start sharing the income that is generated by the ad revenue. And this is all automatic. It happens behind the scenes. You just get that monthly transfer to your bank. So, for potential income, point goes to YouTube. Advertising. Here is the really big difference between Vimeo and YouTube. YouTube's model of income is based entirely on the advertising that they put before your video, in your video, after your video, beside your video, above your video, below your video. That's where they make their money, and that's how you actually make your money, because they share the revenue from that advertising. But that can become a problem for some people, some businesses, some organizations. Because even if you have not monetized your channel and have not asked YouTube to run ads, YouTube now reserves the right to show advertising before your video. And you know what? I don't really blame them at all for this. There are a lot of freeloaders out there that are uploading 5-10 hours of video a week to YouTube with never the slightest intention of ever trying to monetize the content in any way. Churches are the worst offenders here. The full morning service every week uploaded for worldwide distribution, with never a thought as to how much all of those hours are costing YouTube. All those gigabytes of content have to be stored somewhere and replicated to various servers around the world. So I say YouTube has every right to run ads as they please on this content. And for content creators that are interested in making money from their content, this advertising model makes all of that possible. And I actually love YouTube for that. My wife and I make a good side income because of the advertising on YouTube. So it does have some pros. However, while this advertising offers many benefits that most creators will appreciate, there are some who absolutely do not want random advertising showing up anywhere around their video masterpiece. There are organizations and businesses that don't want or simply cannot have random advertising associated with their operation. How would you feel if you had spent $10,000 for a media house to produce a promotional or explainer video about your wonderful product, only to see a competitor's ad run right at the beginning of your video? Not cool. I work for a faith-based, non-governmental organization that does humanitarian work around the world. To keep up a good working relationship with our partners and local governments in the countries where we serve, we can never show the slightest political bias. But wait, during elections, YouTube runs all sorts of political ads. And this could give the appearance that our organization supports, or worse, endorses a political party or candidate because of the ad that runs before our videos. As a result, we could lose funding. Or worse, in some countries where we work, put our employees in danger. We simply cannot run the risk of political ads at the beginning of our videos. As I mentioned, our organization is faith-based, meaning that a good percentage of our donors are Christians, and our videos air in churches. What if, when the projectionist hits play, a pre-roll advertising promotes products that may be taboo with our donors? And here's the thing that maybe a lot of people don't understand. The ads that run before the YouTube video plays are based on the browser history of whoever used the computer last, or the last week. The ads are not based on anything that our organization stands for, or in alignment with our morals and ethics standards. They're totally based on the browser history of the computer that is playing that video. Not everyone understands how this works, and they could believe when they see your video that you are endorsing products or services or politics that you definitely do not. And so, if you are an organization or even a serious film producer, you may want to consider very carefully where you point your clients or your donors to watch your videos. Since I gave the point to YouTube for ad-based revenue sharing on the last point, which, when it comes right down to it, is the only positive of having to watch ads or having your viewers watch ads, I'm going to give this point to Vimeo because they do not show any advertising ever. Visibility. Let me ask you, if you post a video on Vimeo, will anyone ever see it? It's kind of like that philosophical question. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? That is the tough truth about Vimeo. In order to see the video, your clients, your customers, your potential customers, your donors need to be able to find your video. So, short of sending out links over other social media platforms or streaming a video from Vimeo on your website, will anybody ever find you, your organization, or see your video if you just simply post it on Vimeo? You can tell somebody that they can find you on Vimeo, and I have done that a lot. You can find us on Vimeo. But can they? Really? The organization that I am working for has had an account on Vimeo by the name of ADRA Canada for 4 years. I have set up a Vimeo channel called ADRA Canada that has been up for 3 years. You would think that people would be able to find ADRA Canada at Vimeo, right? Let's start with the first place people might go to look, Vimeo.com. As I mentioned earlier, this is primarily a sales page to get people to sign up for Vimeo. There is a menu item here, we notice, that says Watch. Let's try that. Oh, and we see there's a search tool here. Let's search for ADRA Canada. 0 channels found. But the thing is, there is a channel called ADRA Canada at Vimeo, and it's been there for 3 years. Our whole account is called ADRA Canada. You would think the search engine would be able to find ADRA Canada, right? The menu items at the top are still all about signing up for Vimeo. Sorry, Vimeo, that is not what my donors are looking to do. Eventually, I discovered that you have to first switch the button here to Directory and then do your search. Now it finds the channel. But you have to ask yourself the question, who would know that you have to do that? Certainly not our elderly donors. Why not just make one full search button that searches the whole Vimeo website? So, while Vimeo is very subscriber-centric, YouTube is very viewer-centric. Let's go to youtube.com. And now, let's do a search on YouTube for ADRA Canada. Bam! At the top of the list, right after the ad. I have to say, point goes to YouTube. Likes, shares, and comments. Well, that's another interesting situation with Vimeo. Our organization that I work for, as I mentioned, has been signed up now for 4 years. We've posted over 200 videos, and we've gotten quite a few views because of the fact that we link to Vimeo from our website and social media platforms. And so the views have been there, but very few likes, love, and comments. And it's not because the content is bad. People send in large donations because of the content. So I know that they are appreciating the content and they keep going back if they get the link. They obviously liked the video and the work that our organization is doing around the world. Why didn't they click like on the video? Well, they may have tried, but what happens is when they click on the like, or I think it's a little love, a heart, Vimeo prompts them to sign up. And I know YouTube does the same thing. If you want to like a video, you have to create an account with YouTube. And I understand the reasoning behind that. But the difference between the two platforms is that people know YouTube. It's a household name. It's a trusted name. People are not as likely to sign up to a website that they have never heard of. And I might just add that as soon as you try and subscribe to Vimeo, the first thing that you're hit with was a lot of sales information. Or, trying to push their $22 a month program so that people can post their own videos. Well, that's not why our viewers come to watch videos. Please, Vimeo, don't try and sell our donors to sign up to your website. Make it easy for people to sign up and don't bombard them with a lot of sales information. And so, I have to say, if you are interested in building a subscriber base and get lots of likes, shares, and comments, don't expect that anytime soon at Vimeo. Point goes to YouTube. Collaboration tools. Now here's an interesting feature of Vimeo that you won't find at YouTube. I just love it as a producer, a content creator. I can collaborate with my coworkers, my clients from different parts of the world. I can post my video, hide it from the public, keep it unlisted, but send my client a link for them to watch the video. And if they see anything while they're watching the video, they just pause the video and they can make a comment in the side margin of what they would like to see different or make a suggestion here. And then when I get it back, or when I go and log into Vimeo the next time and I go to the review section of my account, I can see that video and I can see all of the comments and suggestions on the sidebar. And when I click on any one of them, it takes me directly to the point in the video that they're talking about in the comment, which is just a wonderful tool. I would probably sign up to Vimeo just for this tool. Pay their $22 a month just for this tool. It's so wonderful. YouTube, I suppose, could be set up as a way for your clients and coworkers to review your first draft of the video. You could make a dummy YouTube channel that you don't make public. You just keep the videos unlisted and send your coworker or client a link. And, you could do it that way. But they will have to keep track of the time code where the problem is and let you know where it was at what point in the video. And I've done that for many years with my clients. And they find it frustrating. Or at least I'll say, now that I'm using Vimeo, they are so much happier. And it's so much easier for them to collaborate with me as I create their video. And so, big point to Vimeo for their collaboration tools. Keeping your viewers watching your content. The YouTube algorithm has been trained to keep viewers watching YouTube as long as possible. Not necessarily your channel or your content, but keeping viewers at YouTube as long as possible. And while your viewer is watching your video on YouTube, YouTube will put up some suggested videos. You've probably seen these with all of the amazing thumbnails beside or below your video, depending on the device you're using, that can be very enticing to your viewer. While they're watching your viewer, they might look down and see something very interesting and switch away from your content to go click on something else. Your donor may actually leave your presentation and go watch something else right in the middle of your pitch for help. Perhaps even send you to a competitor's video or another organization that the donor might give to. Not cool, YouTube. Not cool. That never happens at Vimeo. When you send a link for someone to watch one of your videos on Vimeo, the only suggested videos that they're going to see at the bottom of or alongside of your video content are the rest of your videos on your channel. That's the only thing that they're going to be presented with. Big point to Vimeo here for keeping your viewers, your donors, your potential clients viewing your content. Keeping your views. I know this sounds a lot like the last one, but it is different. On YouTube, if you want to make a slight update to your video, say your video has been up on YouTube for a year, it's gotten 500,000 views, it's doing well, got lots of comments, lots of likes, but you need to make a change because something has happened with the product or service, or you need to make an update. And so you make your update, you go to upload it, but you find out that YouTube will not let you simply update your current video. You have to delete the old video. Well, you don't have to delete it. You could keep it up there. But to avoid confusion and to make it current and relevant, you'll delete the old one and start all over with 0 views, 0 likes, 0 comments on your product or service. You've suddenly lost all of the connections with all of the other search engines. Suddenly your video is gone. The URL that you used to have that video is no longer a valid URL. And so, I don't know. I know that there's some reasons why YouTube has historically done this, but I got to say I love Vimeo for the very fact that it lets you update your video. You make your changes and you go to Vimeo and there's an option to replace your old video with your new video. You don't lose any likes, comments, shares, and you maintain your visibility on all the search engines for that video because you keep the same URL. And so I got to say, I love that about Vimeo. And for keeping your views, I have to say, big point goes to Vimeo. Copyright claims and strikes. If you are a YouTube user, you've probably been faced with the dreaded copyright claims, and that can either cause you to lose revenue for that video that you spent so much time on, or worse, potentially give you a strike with YouTube and, get too many strikes, and one morning you could wake up and find that your channel is gone. YouTube is taking it down because of too many strikes. And suddenly you've lost everything that you have worked so hard on to build up your channel. You've lost your viewers. You've lost potential clients. It's just very frustrating what can happen because of these copyright claims. Well, Vimeo doesn't hassle you with that. Probably one of the biggest reasons why you get a copyright claim is the music that you might have in the background of your video. And this can happen even if you have licensed the music. I license music from about 5 different providers, and I've gotten copyright claims from all 5 of them. Not all the time. I've been able to register my main music provider with the channels that I usually upload to, and that solves most of the problems. But I still occasionally get this copyright claim strike, and I have to prove that I have the license for that piece of music. And it can be very time-consuming and tedious, and it can take a month to resolve. Here's a fun one that I'm sure churches must run up against a lot. Your church is singing some hymn from the 1700s that has been in the public domain for hundreds of years, and you get a copyright hit because of the music, the melody that is with that hymn. What's happened is some modern musical group has made a version of that song and copyrighted it, and the AI computer that is listening for copyrighted content that has been registered with the computer hears that melody and gives you a hit. And again, you have to go through the tedious process of proving that your congregation was singing the public domain hymn, not the modern version. This can be a real pain. And Vimeo simply trusts the user that only licensed or public domain music is being used in your video. Or be okay that you are willing to take the risk of a copyright lawsuit for your use of the music. Vimeo washes their hands of it. But the great thing about that, as long as you're using licensed music or music that's in the public domain, and you know that to be true, you have nothing to worry about. And you don't have to hassle with all of these copyright claims. And so I say another point here goes to Vimeo for trusting their users to only use licensed music. OTT and subscription-based. What is OTT, you might ask? Well, it stands for over-the-top streaming service. This is premium streaming. Netflix and Apple and Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. These are all over-the-top streaming services, premium services that have no advertising, but make their money based on subscription. And this is maybe something that you want to consider. After you have been on YouTube for 5 years and you have built up a whole library of really great content, perhaps it is a great course on how to become a successful entrepreneur, or maybe an exercise class that has become quite popular, yoga and meditation techniques, whatever. And you have built up a small but dedicated following, and you want to offer your students an ad-free experience. How can you meditate and then all of a sudden some YouTube advertising comes on, blaring usually louder than your video? You want to be able to, in many cases, offer your students, your clients, an ad-free experience. Do your research on setting up an OTT service, and you will find that most providers offer you a prohibitively expensive solution and require a lot of upfront costs and be some technical skills that are above your level. Vimeo lets you create an OTT channel with lots of templates to work with, easy to build out your website, and they only charge you $1 each month per subscriber, which is great because it's pay as you go. As you start out, you may only have 10 followers, 10 subscribers for your website. It's $10 a month while you get started. But as you build your client base, your viewer base, each new subscriber that comes is bringing you a lot of income, and you only have to pay Vimeo $1 a month for each new subscriber. So it's a good option. Another alternative is that if you have some WordPress skills, you can put together your own OTT subscriber-based website using a couple plugins for membership, subscription. There's even one that is specifically designed to automatically feed your videos from Vimeo to your WordPress website. We've got that set up. All we have to do is when we upload, we tick one little box and it automatically shows up on our website. This is something that YouTube just cannot offer. Why? Well, remember, their business model is advertising. You could feed your website, I suppose, with YouTube videos, but your students are not going to be very happy once they're paying their monthly subscription or their annual subscription for an ad-free environment, and all of a sudden YouTube serves up some ads because you're streaming from YouTube. And so if you want to try and build out an OTT system economically, Vimeo is the place to go. And so point goes to Vimeo. Speed of video processing. Now, I know that this may not seem like a big thing, but YouTube, you should know, is notorious for taking their sweet time to transcode your video out to the full resolution that you uploaded it to. In the background, when you upload a YouTube video, it's actually transcoding your video to 5 or 6 different resolutions. And there's a good reason for that. People in remote jungles of South America or Africa may not have very good internet speeds. And YouTube will detect that and feed them a lower resolution of your video. But the time it takes to encode these 6 different versions can be very long at YouTube. I understand, with all of the videos that are being uploaded every day, thousands of hours, that their computers need to transcode to these 6 different resolutions. I can see how you can get into a queue, and it can take a long time before your video is ready to press publish. And by the way, you do not want to hit publish until YouTube has finished encoding to that highest level, because what can happen is there'll be people out there that have really fast connections, and they see your video coming, they get the prompt, and they hit play, and they get this really blurry, ugly video playing on their phone or their computer, and it can reflect badly on you or your business or your organization. And so don't rush to press publish just when that first SD video is finished encoding. Wait till you get the end. But do you really want to wait 2 hours? I have that experience a lot. Waiting 2 hours before they've gotten around to getting to my video to encode it. Now, I know that this is a little bit dependent on your standing with YouTube. My wife, who has a very successful YouTube channel with 200,000 followers, lots of views, her videos get encoded quite quickly at YouTube. They bump her right to the beginning of the queue, I think, and start encoding her videos very quickly. But for a non-monetized channel, like the organization that I work for, ADRA Canada, we get pushed right to the back of the line every time, and it can take a long time to encode the video. Now, normally that wouldn't be a problem. I mean, what difference does it really make whether your video is up at 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock? your donors are eventually going to see it, and that's going to be fine. So I can see why YouTube doesn't worry about this too much. But I've had a couple of experiences where I've worked hard meeting my deadline for a video that is going to be going live at 6 and going to be restreamed using the restream services to many different platforms, Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and all of these different platforms being restreamed from a video that's up at YouTube. I get done by 4 o'clock. I upload it. I've got a fast uploader. I can upload a video very quickly. But then it's very frustrating. After 2 hours, they still haven't finished encoding it. I'm about to go live with a very ugly, bad resolution SD video. And so that can be frustrating. Now on Vimeo, I never have any problem. Even with an hour-long video, they encode that to the 6 different resolutions within about 5 minutes every time. I've never had any issues with the encoding speed or long queues at Vimeo. They just get it done. And so I have to say, for transcoding speeds, speed of processing, point goes to Vimeo. If you know that you have to restream your production within 2 hours of upload, it really helps to have a Vimeo account to stream from. So, you are probably wondering what my conclusion is. What platform would I recommend? Well, I would say that I have found a lot of value in both platforms, and that is why I continue to work with both. They each have their strengths and weaknesses, as I have pointed out. I guess my big recommendation would be that if you are a church, mosque, synagogue, or a nonprofit organization, or a business, or anyone that does not want or cannot take the risk of being associated with products or services that might appear as advertising in front of your videos, you need Vimeo as your video server. If you want worldwide potential viewership of over 2 billion users, you might want to think about being on YouTube. Some may want to take advantage of the best of both. For example, at the NGO that I work for, the moment YouTube came out with the new policy that they reserved the right to show advertising at their discretion on everyone's video, regardless if their channel was monetized or not, I recommended to our organization that we sign up for Vimeo. I uploaded our whole video library to Vimeo. And whenever we want to stream our content from our website or our other social media platforms, we stream it with the Vimeo link. And that way we avoid any potential risks that might be involved with the ads that might appear at the beginning of our videos or at the end. However, we still maintain our YouTube channel for people who are searching for us on YouTube. We don't want to miss out on that potential viewership. And we find that people who search on YouTube are more savvy and aware about the whole issue with the ads. If they're a regular YouTube user, they're seeing these same ads on everything they watch at YouTube. And so it's not going to be that odd or strange if one of these beer commercials or political ads shows up at the beginning of one of our videos, because they're savvy YouTube viewers. And so we don't want to miss out on that potential viewership. We maintain our YouTube presence and upload everything to both platforms. Well, that does it for today. I know it's been a long video. Sorry about that. There was a lot of information to share. And if you have found the video helpful, and to help you decide which is the best platform for you or your organization, please go ahead and give it a like. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And we'll see you next time here at Learning Media Skills. So long for today.